Hello, and we're back with turn 3 of Panzer North Africa, I should say, of our second Alamein scenario. If you remember from our first video, our introduction, and the first couple of turns here, we're playing a scenario. We've got to breach a minefield and break out in North Africa, the Battle of Second Alamein. Here, and we're up to turn 3. We're still in the very beginning stages of the game, and getting our tanks on the board and our minefield group on the board. That's these guys up through here, all of this right in through here. It's our minefield. And then we've got some of our lead cruiser tanks coming on, and now we're going to get the bulk of our units on board here in a minute. Once we start playing through here with this. We've also discovered some Germans over here. We've got a Martyr 3 there and another one down here, right here. And then we've also got an 88 right there and a 75mm anti-tank gun down there, and then some more hidden units up here that will be revealed here shortly. So with that, that's where we're at. Let's get moving and see what the turn holds for us. So let's get moving here. Turn 3, spotting phase. So now this guy, remember, he took a shot over here, and I think he actually suppressed, I think it was this unit over here. But he wasn't revealed because we didn't have anything within range to spot him. But now we're probably going to be able to see them because right over in where is he? I think he's right over here. He's under, he's under this truck. We have a recon unit which gets an extra bonus to be able to see this unit over here. So we'll see that in a minute. But first, all of our Commonwealth units, they're going to be spotted because they've been moving. Going to be very easy to see them, except for the ones that have ducked into full cover, and those are the ones that are suppressed. These guys here, these guys here, these guys have recovered. So they're in full cover, so they can't be seen. Because if you remember with our full cover spotting, what's going to happen with that, it's a little bit different. But with full cover spotting, the target gets a -2 modifier, so these are infantry, so they're going to drop down to like 3, even though they're moving, which will go back up to 10. But they're definitely not within range to be spotted, over there. The other thing that's a little odd about this with full cover spotting, not odd, but unique, I guess I should call this, is that when they're trying to spot something, they got a bigger negative modifier because they're hunkering down. They're going into, into behind rocks and behind everything there, so they're not going to be in a position to really spot things very well. So anyways, these guys are not spotted, but everybody else who's moved is. So moving along here, all visible German units are spotted, basically over here. They've seen, because they've actually taken shots, so they will be spotted by all of our units coming on here, particularly our recon units that we have here. There's another recon unit down here. We've got actually 4 recon units, which is very good to help us see what's going on out there. Okay, and now we're checking this unit here. So number 5, it had fired. It's in rough for -2, but he's recon to make him +1 again, so it's going to be +2. Which means that he can be spotted at greater than 20 hexes. So remember, we're looking over here, starting on the 0, and then saying +2, which goes up to 20 over there. So that's up to 20 hexes. It's only 16 to there, so he will be spotted. So let's see what he is. Activation roll was a 44, which means he is fake. He needed to roll a 40 or less for him to be a real unit. So he disappears. And off we go to the command phase. So here in our command phase, I'm actually putting on the reinforcements here. I forgot to do that earlier. But there's all of our reinforcements. There's going to be a couple groups here. We've got our battalion units up here. These are all the battalion command units. Down here, this is our anti-tank units with portees and deacons, which are just truck-mounted anti-tank guns. And then down here we have our Sherman 3s that are coming in this track up here. So those are our units coming in. So now let's get to our commands here in a minute. I'll just read a little bit more rearranging. Get things lined up the way they should be coming on the board. There we go. So now our minefield group, which remember is these units up here and down here, also our mortars, they get 17 commands. So we're going to place all of those here. Now first off, we're going to place some fires over here. They will have visibility to see these units over here, so they can have fire commands now. And now I'm putting on move commands. For most everything else is going to get a move command, except, let's zoom in here just to show you here, just the suppressed guys. I put no commands, so they have a better chance of removing that suppression at this time. I'm also putting a move command on them. They can crawl. They're in full cover, so the only thing they can do is crawl, but I'll try to keep them moving as much as possible. And then other units are getting no commands because they're suppressed, and then just a lot of moves. Lots and lots of move commands. Okay, so that takes care of the minefield group. Next is our cruiser squadron down here. They're going to get 5 commands, which works out nicely to put 1, 2 there. Or put 2 on each one of the cruisers. They're the Crusaders, excuse me. Here, all the way down here, and actually up to the north. Now, the AEC Mark 1s, those are recon units, so they get their own independent commands, and they'll be able to move without a problem. Okay, now our anti-tank company. That's this guy lined up diagonally over here. They're going to get 11 commands, and I'm just going to put all 11 on here, just dispersing them amongst them. But I like to put, the multiple commands on there. It gives me options to break them up if I need to. Most likely they're going to come on the board all together, but they have the extra commands, might as well use them. Then the battalion command is going to get, they all get their own commands, much like a recon unit. They don't have individual limits on their commands, so they will get their own commands. And then we move down to our Shermans, which is the medium cruiser squadron. They get 5 commands as well. So there we go. So there we go with all of our commands. Now we go to the initiative phase, and it's need a 50 or greater. We roll a 98, so the Commonwealth is the first player. Great. That's exactly what I want, because I want to be able to fire these mortars, and you're going to see in a minute where I'm going to fire the mortars. So no indirect fire at this point, so we can see everything. So direct fire. So first off, this one mortar, 133, I believe. So I take that, yep, 133, 3-inch mortar. That's this guy over here. He's actually going to fire smoke at Y7 right here. This martyr. He's going to put smoke on him because smoke is a real big hindrance in this game. If you haven't seen from my other videos, I put smoke on everything. So he was successful, and he will get the hindrance of smoke on there. And then we're going to do the same thing with 134, but this time he is 134, who's next door here. It's going to fire on him and put some smoke on him, and he was successful as well. So they smoked out both of the martyrs over here and kind of the 88 over here. The 88 can't fire, downward to kind of the southerly end of the board because the smoke is going to be not blocking him but hindering him significantly. There's like a -5 for AP and there's a -20 for GP, so it is a significant hindrance for them. Okay, so now German fire. So here we go first with the 75 millimeter 104 up here, number 104. He's going to roll for command. He gets a +20 for being static, which just pushes him up to higher number, which for the most part is going to be firing. The plus 20 basically takes him out of range for doing any type of movement. There still is the chance that he'll get like a full cover command, which means that he's just hiding out, waiting. And we will have our discretion to turn these into Overwatch if the shot doesn't seem very effective yet. So with the 75 though, he is actually going to take a shot at the white scout car 112 right over here, and he's going to fire GP, medium range. He's a veteran moving, so it's going to be a 4-to-1 protected. So it's going to be a suppression on 53 or greater, and then effective on 81 or greater. So he rolls a 70, which is going to be a suppression. So he suppresses that unit right there. All right, so that keeps them from moving very much. Oh yeah, now he's firing at the rifle. That's right, because they can also, because they hit the white scout car and had a result, a suppression or an effective result. They can also attack the infantry inside. Pretty much the same shot, medium range veteran, but now it's going against a 2S unit, which means it doesn't get the protection. So now it's 38 or greater is suppressed. 50 or 66 or greater is going to be effective. And they roll a 9 and they miss completely. But they did get the suppression on the car. Okay, moving down to this martyr down here, he's checking his. He's got 46, 66. It's going to be a fire. So looking around at what he can shoot at, he's at a range of 13. Not that great, but with the smoke, he's going to take a shot at that 2-inch over there. And you notice I forgot to put smoke in there. That actually bumps it up another 10, 20 points. They roll a 61, which is effective, and even with the subtraction of another 10 points or 20 points, it's still going to be effective over there. So the smoke, it limited that, and it actually helped us quite a bit. So there we go. That's what it is. It's actually 57 to 64. Excuse me, 57 to 84, not 64. But it still falls into that range of being suppressed. So they're going to be suppressed right there. And now one thing I do is when a unit is suppressed, it now has to face a certain direction. It doesn't have 365 view. So I'm pointing him towards the southwest, I guess, over there. Okay. Continuing on with our units. Checking the 88. They roll a 74 plus 20 makes 94, which is going to be in a full cover. All right, they're not going to take a shot at us. That's actually a good thing. Now we'll check the other martyr. They roll a 32 plus 20 is 52. They're going to have a fire. But I think I'm going to change that to Overwatch because I want to see what's coming up the road or coming up the track and kind of go from there. So now going to the movement phase. Germans go first, but there's no movement for the Germans. So we'll move on to the Commonwealth moves. So first off, we're going to move this white scout car down here, and he's going to potentially take a shot. Now that checking I was doing was from that guy who has the Overwatch over there, because he's the only one who has Overwatch. And he is not going to be closer yet, so he can continue on. He won't be shooting at him. And he moves all the way up right next to the minefield and stops. Now we've come within range of this number 1, so he's going to get a command check. So again, plus 20, he gets 71 plus 20. Ooh, it's 91, so he's going to be full cover. All right, so he's not going to try to overwatch us or not. Overwatch us at all. So next we've got our suppressed guy who's just going to move up a couple hexes. He is checking for this guy over here because now he's in range. He may do a command check. And he rolls a 36. So he's a fire, but we're going to change it into an overwatch because it is the movement phase. And they are going to hold their fire for tanks. They're not going to move up, or not going to take a shot at the moving units. So now we're moving up some more units here. We've got another white scout car trying to draw fire. The other one over here moving up again. We're just trying to, whoops, where are we going here? No, he's going back because he's going to go pick up his guys. He moved too far. Those guys who were suppressed are now back in good order, so he's going to go pick up the squad that was assigned to him. Here we've got the forward observer positioning in scrub to potentially help out the mortars a little bit. There we go. And now we've got the AEC Mark I moving up. And doing a couple range checks here, just seeing what's what, see if we want to take the shot. Actually, number 8 is going to take a shot. AP as a 75 at that AEC. Long range moving veteran. It's going to need a 27 or less to hit. Rolls a 66, which is a miss, but that's going to reveal him because that's a recon unit. So the spot check, he fired, he's in rough, plus the recon is a +2. That's going to be within range, so he gets a activation roll. Rolls an 80, so he's going to be fake, so he disappears. Great. Less units to worry about here. Alright, next we're going to start moving some of these guys down the other way and come up the track. Now I did make a mistake here. I went too far. I was actually looking at the road rate here, and I'm going to correct that a little bit later, but for now I just realized they've gone just a little bit too far. Same with that truck. I actually used the road rate rather than the track rate. So now we've got some more, and now here we're moving up the Scorpions. But again, they're so slow. They're only 2T for off-road and then 3 for track. So they're going to take some time to get up here. It's probably going to be, let's see, we're on turn 3. I think I calculated it's going to be up around turn 6 that they're going to finally be able to do something here. So stay tuned. They'll get there. They're just slow. Hopefully they get there, not get knocked out. So this is where I just figured out that I just screwed up the trucks and the AEC-1 and moved them back. Okay, so now we've got some more. We've got the light truck moving up. This guy has the heavy machine gun with him. Machine gun team, I should say, with them. And he's going to try to get up and get position. I'm going to try to get those guys in position to give some, suppressive fire to those guns. They may get beat up on the way to get there, but I've got to keep them occupied so that I can get the Scorpions up there and the engineering teams up there to breach the minefield. So now we got the cruisers going up, and they're just moving up the road. That's pretty straightforward, and I think that's it. And then there's some more coming up. Oh, there's the engineers. Those are the engineers coming up there. Okay, and then just repositioning, and then we've got some more of the cruiser group. That's the AE. They're moving up to try to spot other units. He's moving down. And then the other platoon of cruiser units moving up. So then we've got reinforcements. That should be pretty straightforward. So first off, the battalion headquarters is moving up here and then coming down the track like that. I could have probably moved them cross country and it's going to be the same thing, but I just like using the roads. It just gives more capability, especially if you're coming on the board. Now we've got the medium cruisers. Those are the Sherman 3s right here. They've come on the board on the southern track. And then our anti-tank teams, or anti-tank companies, are going to be moving up through the desert itself and catch up behind there. Because I'm going to try to keep them behind. use them as potentially the units that get off the board, hopefully, if things go well. So now we're into the adjustment phase. No pivot. Full cover adjustments. We're going to take off some of the full covers, which I took them off here. This guy down here because he's all set. I think I've added some. Maybe, yeah, this guy's under full cover as well. I think I left him out by accident, but he's still under full cover there as well. And then we come to our suppression removal. We're trying 112. That's this guy. Which I made a mistake. These guys should be flipped. He's not one to roll for it, so that's not right. So we're going to actually do 112, which is this guy over here. And he's going to get a 50, and he's successful. So he's going to flip back over. And then we've got 121. 112 was up here, was it? Sorry, yeah, 112 is up there. All right. This is 121 down here. And he was successful. And there's no morale. And then our smoke adjust, just flipping from on to off. And picking up the command markers. And there we go. So that was turn 3. Again, still maneuvering and still trying to find the best way to go. But hopefully you noticed how I use smoke over here to kind of suppress the fire of the Germans up here. And then just kind of keeping things moving. So that's the end of turn 3. We'll move on to turn 4. Okay, here we are back with turn 4 of Panzer. And let's get things moving here and see how this goes. So, turn 4, spotting phase. So, looking at the spotting, I think again we have pretty much everything for the Commonwealth spotted. All the units that are on the board right now are spotted and visible to the Germans. And all visible German units are spotted as well. Remember, smoke does not count towards any type of spotting detrogation of the ability to spot them. So that's where we are with everything. Nothing's really changed. Really, with the desert, it's really kind of wide open with everything. Next is going to be the commands. 17 for the minefield group, and we're going to place a lot of moves. Let me get all of these on here and then kind of explain what we've got here. So just checking some lines of sight here. And there we should almost have all the minefield groups. You can see once this got going, everything got interspersed here. We've got a lot of interspersion with the minefield group and the first cruiser group, or squadron that came in. The second medium cruiser squadron is down here. The Sherman's back here, and the anti-tank group is up here as well. So, but we do have a lot of mixing in here. Gonna try to explain those all here in a second once they all get on there. There's that, and those guys there as well. Okay, all right. So there we go. So that's all of the minefield group. So what we're doing here in a real high level, we've got our mortars back here that are going to be shooting again. They may do smoke up here. We may actually go after them now that we've laid down our smoke. And actually, I think we're going to actually go after this guy up here because we've got units moving up here close to the minefield, and he's going to start peppering them with GP and trying to knock them out as quick as possible. So we may go after them as well as the other ones here as well. Then we've got a whole bunch of moves. You can see I've got move, move, move on most of the rest of the units. Going to keep them moving up. These are all of the infantry and engineers and the Scorpion tanks right here that are going to move up at that point. So then we got our regular cruiser squadron. They're interspersed here, back here. You see you got some here, and there's some back here as well. They're going to get their moves, and they're all going to be moves here as well. So there we go. Now also to the AECs, remember our recon, so they get their own individual moves. They don't need to go in with the commands. All right, then the AT company back here gets 11 commands, and we'll set those up mainly with moves. Again, they're so far back, it's going to be moves. And then the battalion gets their moves, and then the medium cruiser squadron gets their moves over there. Again, another 5 moves. So it's all going to be moves. We're all moving up here. Very little shooting for the Commonwealth. I think it's better for them to move because that's going to give them negative modifier to the Germans, who are going to be firing one way or another, most likely GP. And actually one thing that I was wondering about, because we do have sun blindness here for the AP but not the GP, so not quite sure on that, so I may drop a email over to or a posting over to see what is, if that should be applied to GP as well. But for now we're playing it as is, and it's just AP. So now we roll the initiative, 50 or greater, roll a 70, so the Commonwealth is going to be first. That's good, because here come the mortars. And the mortars are going to try to take a shot. The first one is going to try to attack it, but I'm just checking other ranges to see how I want to do this here. So we get to the fire phase, and there's no indirect fire, of course. Direct fire. Now our mortars are going to shoot. So this guy over here, the 130, here on 133, that guy, he is going to fire on 104. That's this guy up here. He's firing GP, extreme range, and he's a veteran. So he's going to be at 3 against a 1S because they're out in the open. Suppression is going to be 32 or greater. Effective is 59, so it's a good chance we do something here. Let's see what happens. But we won't do anything if we roll a 23. That is a big miss. So then we're going to have 134, which is the other mortar down here. Try to drop some smoke right here on J8, right in front of it, to blind it a little bit. And they roll a 9. So our mortars failed at their task for this turn. Alright, German direct fire. So 103 is going to get their command. 103 is, I think it's this guy down here. Let me move the smoke a little bit. Nope, that's 101. Sorry. That's 104. That's 103. The 88's the 103. Sorry. So he's static. He rolls a 16 plus 20 is 36. That means he's going to get a fire. Oh, excuse me, it was up there. I wrote the wrong one there. My bad. So he gets a fire. And the nearest target is going to be 111 over here. So one thing I'm playing with is for the enemy player, they will always shoot at the nearest target. There's no picking and choosing of the units behind them. They're always going for the one that's going to be nearest and most dangerous, or if we need to make a choice, we'll roll on the charts. In this case, it's pretty clear. It's this guy. He's in the front, and he's wide open there. So he's going to take a shot at him, and that is going to be a range of 9. So that's going to be 75 millimeter GP firing at this hex over here at this target. It's going to be short range, so it's going to be 4. It's going to be the firepower, moving, protected, veteran. So it's going to be a 1. It's going to be a 4 to a 1P. Suppression is going to be 58 or higher, 86 or higher for a effective. They roll a 21. Oh, they missed too. We're all missing. All right, looked out of that one. Now we're checking 102, which is this guy down here. Right. Oh, come on. There we go. Position. There we go. It's that martyr. And he rolls a 93, which makes 103, which he's going to go hull down and get no command. So he's hiding down here, seeing all these dust clouds. Well, not sort of dust clouds. There's no dust clouds on the tracks, but all these vehicles rolling up there. Now we're going to do 101, which is the other martyr down there, which has smoke on it. They roll a 49 plus 20, 69. That's going to be a fire. And they're going to take a shot at the closest unit. It's that guy there. and that's another scout car. That's the 123 scout car, which the unit had disembarked over here, and they were suppressed. So the Martyr takes a shot at the white scout car. It's going to be a medium range, 3 veteran protected, moving 3 -1. Suppression is 57 or greater. Effective is going to be 84 or greater. They roll a 30 and they miss. Wow. This is unusual, but it is what it is. So moving. German is the second player, so they move first, but there is no German movement. The way the commands are set up with the +20 being static, they are not going to move for the frontline troops, and these guys behind them aren't getting command yet. So we go straight to the Commonwealth movement. So the Commonwealth movement is going to be starting up here first. That unit right here, 111, they're going to disembark their infantry into the scrub, and the same thing with this infantry here coming out of this scout car. Let's zoom in a little bit. I think we can give you some context there. So there's rifle 112, there's rifle 111, and they're all moving forward here. The suppressed vehicle, he was a suppressed vehicle, sorry, that's right. So they disembark them and they will be suppressed as well, and they'll all stay right there. Next, we're going to move up these trucks, and those trucks are actually going to contain, once we get them out here, our engineers. So these guys are our engineering teams. They're going to move up here, and next turn they'll be able to attack the minefields and try to get rid of those, but it's going to be under fire, unfortunately. So we've moved up them. So in here we've got 3 units. There's 2 engineers and then 1 infantry unit right there. 3rd engineering unit is going to move up all the way to there, and next turn disembark. All right, we got more moving up over here. And then we've got some AE1s down here moving up. Let's just zoom out a little bit so you can see this here, now that we're broadening our action. So there's going to be some more movement over here. AE1s move up over here. And these guys move up over here. Now you may say, well, what about these guys that are in full cover back here? Can't they see them? Well, no, because they are actually in full cover. So they're going to be doing full cover spotting, which means they will not be able to see across there. Even though they're moving, they're still not going to be able to see those vehicles. So I'm not giving them command. I'm not stopping to get them over there yet, quite yet. So we've got another AE1 there, you can see moving up right there. Try to position, again, those are recon units. They're important because they're going to figure out what number 9 is and the rest of these guys. So I've got to move them up kind of early and kind of vulnerable. Now we've got another white scout car here who just picked up his unit and moving forward. And then we've got the Crusaders. This is where it got screwed up here a little bit. Just vassal being vassal. But the Crusaders moved up over here. I'll move this truck. This truck gets moved back here. They got accidentally moved when I had some problems with some stacking there. But we've got Crusaders moving up the track, hopefully to get through the minefields once they get blown out. Also to provide some fire support there too. We've got another AE1 moving up there, and one to the north. The one to the north there, you can see up here, he's going to come over here and try to get some angle on him and maybe spot number 1 over here as well. But he's in full cover, so it's going to be kind of tricky. All right, so next I think we've got the battalion command coming up. Now he's got a range of 20 for command. Oh no, those are Crusaders. Sorry, those are Crusaders. Sorry. They're moving up. The battalion is here and here. They've got a range of 20, and that just means that the companies need to be within 20 hexes of those command vehicles. So now we've got the command moving. And there come the Shermans. And then we've got a couple of anti-aircraft armored cars. And now we're going to move up down here. Our other cruiser squadron, Shermans, they're going to kind of go cross-country and parallel the track. They don't have a great cross-country factor here, but I just don't want them to get too bunched up, and that's why they're moving over in there like that. So then the last thing we do is our anti-tank, and they're just positioning back here. I'm just positioning the Deacons and the Porties, as well as the Bren carriers, universal carriers here as well. Okay, there we go. So that was all the moves. We go into the adjustment phase. So now we're going to start to try to remove some suppressions on here. We've got some units that are suppressed and some that are getting ready to try to get rid of their suppressions. So first off, 112 is going to try to remove its suppressions. Nope, they roll. They needed a 70. They needed a 70 or better, and unfortunately they had plus 20 because they had a move command, and they fail. Next is 112 down here underneath them. They're going to try. They roll an 83, and that fails as well. So they're both still suppressed. Then we've got 123, who is, I believe, down here. Yeah, he's down here, this guy under here. He's going to roll 70 or less. He does have no command, so he succeeds 31. And we'll get rid of that one. And I believe that is all of them, yeah. So now it's smoke adjust, so the smoke counters go away. And now we remove our commands, and there's the end of turn 4. So let's zoom out a little bit, see where we are. Still a lot of maneuvering. Kind of a quick turn from your perspective. Took a little time for me to figure out where I was going to go. But a quick turn there. More maneuvering to get these guys up and moving towards them. It's very slow, and that's why, again, the tracks and roads are so key. Going cross country is very slow. It took us a long time to get up here. But next turn, turn 5, we will start blowing some of these minefields. Up here, we've got another one down here. The Scorpions, big heavy tanks, slowly moving down. They're right here. They got 1, 2, 3. They got another turn to here. And then 1, 2, and then finally, so we've got about 2 to 3 turns before the Scorpions could get into play to try to break through this minefield. But that gives us time for our heavy machine gun, who's sitting here, as well as the white scout car, who's sitting here, and the AEC Mark 1, to try to knock these guys out, or at least do something to inhibit them from hitting the tanks. We've also got the Crusaders coming up over here. They'll provide fire support. I think I may drop them a little bit farther south, maybe somewhere around here or here, to take some shots over in here. Now this truck really should be over here, and I do fix that later. As I said, he got moved in the mix before. Other things to note on here, I think I covered most things in terms of where we're going to be, but as I said, up here, this guy is going to try to spot and try to help take out this anti-tank gun up here. So that's about it for turn 4. Lots of maneuvering. We're getting close. We're going to breach those minefields here shortly, but we do have 26 turns, so we just need to be patient, and we'll get through them and hopefully get into some of the action and break through the German lines here at the 2nd Alamein. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next series of turns.